Now we have essay 810, that is the engagement to report on the summary financial statements. So what is summary financial statements? It is actually the historical financial information which is derived from the complete financial statements, yes, but contains very less details than the financial statements, because it is just like a summary. Okay, and in order to accept this engagement, the prerequisite is that only those auditor which are evaluating the complete set can do or can accept the engagement of summary financial statements also, because only he will be having a full idea like what is this all thing about and all, so he can provide a better summary than the others. Okay, yes. Why? Because the auditor shall not have necessary knowledge to discharge the responsibilities in relation to the summary financial statements if he is not the person who is auditing the full set. Okay, though so in for accepting this was a prerequisite, and now we should actually see what is the applied criteria. Applied criteria means the criteria that is applied by the management, okay, in preparing the summary financial statements. So basically the management is the person who is responsible for determining the information to be reflected in the summary financial statements. Okay, so they are consistent in all material aspects, or that represents a fair summary of the financial statements also. Yeah. Even though since the financial statements are containing some aggregated data or very limited disclosures are also only there is an increased risk that they may be misleading in some circumstances. So there may be chances that people are misinterpreting the data also. So in order to decrease that risk, auditor has to be very conscious. Okay, and the factors which are affecting the auditor in determining the applied criteria. Which are the factors whether this applied criteria is proper or not? The first thing is nature of the entity. What is the nature of the entity? What is the purpose of the summary financial statements right now? Okay, and third thing is the information needs of the intended users. Since we are aiming at a specific category of users, maybe, okay, in that case we have to actually see what is their requirement and whether this applied criteria will result in the summary financial statements that are not at all misleading in any circumstances. These are the 4 conditions which we have to look on deciding upon whether this applied criteria is proper or not. Okay, normally we presume that this is acceptable. What the management has given us, it is basically acceptable. This is what something we presume. Okay, and if auditor concludes that this applied criteria is unacceptable, in order to obtain agreement of management as discussed, okay, so the auditor shall not accept engagement to report on the summary financial statements unless required by law or regulation. That is, they are telling that this applied criteria, we have to look for this condition, nature, purpose, information needs of intended users, and not misleading in circumstances. All these 4 conditions have to be looked, and if the auditor feels that this is unacceptable, then auditor should not accept that engagement. This applied criteria is not proper means auditor should not accept that engagement unless the law and regulation ask the auditor to do so. Okay, and auditor report on the summary financial statement shall not indicate that engagement was conducted as per this essay, because since the auditor is not accepting the applied criteria just because the law and regulation mandate him to do so, that is why only he is performing the audit, and in that circumstances reference to essay 18 should not be given. Okay, and there should be a title. What is the title? Summary financial statements prepared from audited financial statements for the year ended 31st March so and so. There should be a title like that. Okay, and one thing is we have to obtain an agreement of the management that management is acknowledging and understanding its upon responsibility, that is they are the person who will be preparing this summary financial statements as per the criteria, and also they will be making it available to the intended users without any difficulty. So in order to confirm that they are making it available to the intended users, summary financial statements should actually describe clearly from whom and from where these audited financial statements are available. Okay, and the audited financial statements should be on public record. Also, the management has established the process by which intended users of the summary financial statements can access the audited financial statements. All these points were focusing on the complete set, that is the audited financial statements. Okay, so either they should describe clearly in the summary financial statements from where we are getting this or when we will be getting this, and the providing maybe some establishing some processes of methods that be some link from where we can access this, or if these records are on public or not, we should actually tell it. Okay, yes. Now, while forming an opinion, the wordings that is used is summary financial statements are consistent in all material aspects with the audited financial statements as per the applied criteria. That is one thing. That is consistent in all material aspects. Second thing is summary financial statements are a fair summary of the audited financial statements as per the applied criteria. Okay, fair summary or consistent in material, all material aspects. Okay, so when if the law regulation prescribes wording of opinion on summary financial statements that is different from above. If these words are not used and some other words are used, then the auditor shall apply some procedures to discuss which we have discussed earlier, and any the further audit procedures necessary to enable the auditor to express the prescribed opinion and also evaluate whether the users might misunderstand the auditor's opinion on the summary financial statements. Okay, yes, and regarding the elements of the auditor's report, title should be there. It is an independent report. Addressee, if the addressee of the summary financial statements is different from that of the complete set, that should also be taken care into. Yes, then identification of the audited financial statements, clear expression of an opinion. Okay, and you should have a statement that summary financial statements doesn't contain all the disclosures required by the financial reporting framework applied in preparation of audited financial statements. Every disclosures are not provided here, and reading a summary financial statements and audit report is not at all a substitute for reading the audited financial statements. Okay, this has to be there, and everything apart from that regarding the management responsibility, audit responsibility, all those paragraphs will be there, including the date and place, signature, UID and everything. Regarding the date of the report, that should not be earlier than the date of auditor report. That's the only thing. Okay, and coming to the modifications to the opinion or emphasis of matter paragraph or the other matter paragraph and all. Regarding the opinion, you can say that if in the complete set that is a qualified opinion, we are actually seeing whether it is a fair summary or not. So in the summarized financial statements also we can either say that is qualified opinion or unmodified opinion, whatever you can say, but a reference has to be given. If there is some qualified opinion or emphasis of matter paragraph or matter paragraph, we should actually state that there is in the main audit report these are the conditions and this is the basis for expressing such things. Okay, and coming to the disclaimer or adverse opinion in the main financial statements, then here they are telling they should actually state that in the main audit report it is adverse or a disclaimer and the basis for the same, and also they are asking us not to express an opinion. That is the only thing. Since it is the adverse or disclaimer of opinion, we can definitely not provide as fair summary, so we should not be providing any kind of opinion. And if the audited financial statements are comparing some comparative data of that of a previous year and all, auditor should also determine whether such omission in the summary financial statements, sometimes they would have not included this data, previous year data, then whether that omission is reasonable or not, the auditor should determine the effect of those things also. Yes, yes, that's it about the essay 8.